Hey guys, Joe from American Trucks, and today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to install the Borla ATAK dual exhaust system with black chrome tips and a same side exit fitting all 15 and newer 5.0 F150s. Now this exhaust, simply put, is going to be one of the best out there. This is going to be perfect for the F150 owner who's looking for a loud catback and doesn't mind paying top dollar for it. Now, as you guys just heard, this catback is downright loud. But there is some real engineering behind this kit, as there's no drone at any RPM. But this thing is definitely not a sleeper and easily earns its 5 out of 5 on our Wake the Neighbor scale. This kit is manufactured out of a heavy duty stainless steel, which is also mandrel bent. It features a 3-inch diameter inlet pipe up by our headers, which is a huge upgrade over the 2.5-inch diameter stock inlet pipe. We also have the Borla ATAK resonator up there as well, and a complete delete of the factory muffler. Instead, we have a Y pipe which splits into dual 2.25-inch piping, which both exit right behind the rear of your passenger tire, with some awesome 4-inch black chrome /cut tips that are embossed with the Borla logo. That stainless steel is going to ensure that this kit stays looking good and making noise for years to come, as well as the mandrel bends are going to ensure that throughout the length of the bends in this kit, the walls of the tubing are going to stay nice and smooth, which isn't going to create any extra turbulence. Out of Borla's entire range of exhausts, the ATAK is going to be the loudest. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little more daily drivable and therefore a little bit quieter, you could check out the Stinger or S-Type, which is pretty loud, but definitely more daily drivable than something like this. If you're going for a little bit of the sleeper aesthetic, you could turn it down a little bit further than the S-Type as well. Check out the Touring. That's going to be the most reserved muffler that Borla offers. Borla offers the ATAK S-Type and Touring with a couple different combinations as well. You can get each of those with either a chrome tip or a rear exit, and every combination in between. Pricing for this is going to come in at around $11.50. Now, that is expensive, but this is one of the most well-manufactured and engineered kits on the market, and it is well worth the money. Now, if you don't believe me, take it from Borla themselves, as they even back this kit up with a 1,000,000-mile warranty. Before we move on to the install, I did just want to make a quick note that this kit is intended for the shorter wheelbase trucks. So that's going to be your Super Cab with the 6.5-foot bed, or your Super Crew with the 5.5-foot bed. That is what we're working with today. If you have one of the longer wheelbase trucks, such as the Super Cab with the 8-foot bed or the Super Crew with the 6.5, you will have to buy an extension pipe, but you can pick that up on our website in the Buy Together section as well. Now, with that being said, install is going to be extremely easy, especially for a catback like this one. Fit and finish is a huge contributor to that. You won't have to do any bending, you won't have to do any cutting, and you won't need a hammer to get these all made up perfectly right out of the box. We're also using all factory mounting locations to get this installed on our F150. I'm gonna give it an easy 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Should only take you 2-3 hours to get this hooked up to your truck. So without any further ado, let me show you how it's done. Tools required for this install are going to be an impact, pry bar, U-joint, 10, 13, and 15 millimeter sockets, some PB blaster, and a microfiber rag. Before we get our new exhaust installed, we have to get the old one out of the way. That is going to be pretty easy. All that's holding this exhaust onto our truck are going to be these two 13 millimeter bolts on this flange here. Now, it is sitting in some exhaust hangers. We're going to give those a good dose of PB blaster to loosen them up as well. Now, these two bolts are in a decently tough spot. If you plan on using an impact gun, you might need a U-joint, but you should be fine with a ratchet. Now, if the exhaust's never been off your truck before either, might be a good idea to hit these with a dose of PB blaster as well. So at this point, our exhaust is loose on the truck. It's just sitting in those hangers. Now, since we're up on a lift, we're going to take this out all in one shot. I'm gonna remove it and then shimmy it over the axle and under that crossbar up by that flange. It should all come out in one piece. If you are working on the ground, you might have to make some cuts to this to get it out. I'm gonna use a pry bar to help persuade it through those hangers. So with our factory exhaust off the truck, I just wanted to take a second to build up our Borla exhaust, lay the factory one next to it, and point out some of the key improvements our new Borla system is going to make. And right off the bat, as you guys can see, we're ditching this big restricted factory muffler in exchange for a straight through pipe on our Borla system. We're also changing out this factory resonator in exchange for the high flow Borla ATAK resonator, which is going to hugely contribute to our sound. We're bumping up the diameter of this inlet pipe as well from 2.5 inches all the way up to 3 inches. From there, we move down the kit into our Y pipe, which is going to split the system into dual 2.25 inch piping. It's going to run down the truck and exit right behind the passenger rear tire with some awesome 4-inch black chrome slash cut tips that are embossed with the Borla logo. So without any further ado, let's grab that factory 13mm hardware and our inlet pipe with the resonator on it, head back to the truck. So now we're just gonna line this up with our flange and thread the hardware through. So moving right along to the back of our inlet pipe, as you guys can see, that has a little bit of wiggle room on it right now. That's fine. We're gonna leave that loose for now. That's gonna give us a good chance to get our exhaust hung up all the way. Then we can run back through and tighten that down later. But next is going to be this angled pipe right here. We're gonna throw around one of the larger 3-inch diameter clamps and get it seated on the back of our inlet pipe. So for this clamp, I'm just gonna turn it up out of the way. And again, I'm just gonna snug this down just like the hardware up on that flange. I'm using a 15mm socket for this one. It's going to be the same exact process for this over axle pipe here. And again, we're going to use that larger 3-inch clamp. Before we mount our tailpipe, we do have to use a 10mm socket to get this hanger down. Reason being is the nature of having to go up into our over axle pipe, and the hanger being horizontal makes this impossible to get at. So again, I'm gonna use a 10mm socket to drop that hanger. We're going to install it on our tailpipe on the floor. Then we're gonna get our tailpipe around here and re-bolt this hanger down. So now we're ready to hang our tailpipe, but before you do, make sure you put some of those smaller 2.25 inch clamps on there. And then again, we're going to hop back to the 15mm socket to hand tighten these clamps. At this point, you can adjust the exhaust and make sure it's seated exactly where you want it to be. Check all your clearances, make sure nothing is going to hit the exhaust. Then you can tighten down all of the hardware. And lastly, we're gonna hit these two. We're going from the 15mm socket down to the 13mm with the U-joint. Now with that flange tightened down, all that's left for us to do is lower the vehicle and check for any leaks. And that is going to do it for my review and install of the Borla ATAK dual exhaust system with black chrome tips and a same side exit fitting all 15 and newer 5.0 F150. Thank you for watching. I'm Joe. For more videos like this one and all things F150, please subscribe to American Trucks.